All right, we're going to try again. It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we're here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy, and we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we have to shift and make change within us. And you'll have to go back to the other video that's still there to hear the announcements and to catch the very beginning, which is my gratitude, because I don't know if my connection's going to be good in this room or not. We'll have to see. If not, I'm going to record the video onto my laptop and then I will upload it. And it will probably take hours. And I look so forward to that if that happens. But I'm blessing this and this is going to go well. Okay. We're going to start with Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine's thoughts were all over the place. It was really messy. She definitely has some things that she's on the fence about because there was transverse cards, there was overthinking. It's a lot. So let's get into it. Okay. Top of the deck for Divine Feminine Headspace is the Universe or the World card from the Field Tarot. So she's done with something. It's 11:22 on the clock and it was 1 minute and 18 seconds on the timer. She's done with something. She's completely done, like a house, finished, kaput. A cycle has closed. I don't feel a negative energy from this card. I feel a positive energy, really. Like it feels good, whatever she's completed. It's like she's come full circle in some way. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the Page of Swords. So underlying all her thoughts and decisions, we see her curious about the divine masculine, wondering what he's doing, what he's going to do, if he's going to do anything, who he is, if she's right about who he is. She also is thinking about the particular masculine, wanting him to come forward, wanting him to be brave enough to communicate directly with her. She herself feels like courageous enough to face the ending or the completion of something. So that's her overall energy head of the headspace and underlying. The first thing on her mind is the Three of Wands. And this card says vision. This is from the Field Tarot. And this is that she can see clearly into the future. She knows, like with this Universe card, this is also a feeling of for me of trusting in the universe, knowing, patience and faith. Even though her head is a mess, it doesn't feel chaotic. It just feels like there's a lot, you know? Coming out on the fence here, we have the Three of Swords. So I sense that she's in between. Something that was once heartbreaking is now becoming more like a painful truth and less debilitating. So I would guess separation, which was at first so painful, is now becoming something she has an understanding of, something that she utilizes properly, I guess. So it's no longer meaningless. It has gained meaning, and it's beginning to turn around for her, because once she's recognized the things she does that hurts herself, then she starts to make different choices, right? Because we see the truth here about our either decision-making or lack thereof. And remember, if you're listening to this energy, this isn't just if you identify as a feminine gendered person. It is the energy within the person you focus on as well, if they reflect back to you. The next thing that's coming, we're seeing the Ten of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Swords in reverse. And this is why she feels okay, because this is what she sees in that Three of Wands energy. This is her vision. Bliss fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, doesn't matter the material so much. good fortune, prosperity, the divine timing, the wheel turning, things changing, and this painful separation ending, which is a really beautiful energy that I do not hate in the slightest. And that, of course, brings about total transformation with this death card here, clarifying her vision. She envisions a completely transformed future, something that has died or ended in this universe card, this closing out of some cycle, this acceptance of some release of something. This results in a rebirth. And here's what we're on the fence about. And this is literally falling out in the same placement. The Two of Cups and the Four of Cups in reverse. This fear of missed opportunity. This being on the fence, really, about a relationship, about something coming into physical union. Focusing on the separation, focusing on the masculine not making a decision or on what the masculine is doing at all. This has caused this delay in the physical union. She is sensing that she needs to be grounded and seeing the outcome she desires, not focusing on what she doesn't yet have. Because you see, these two cards are in the current position and it's just about to turn around. Like when it turns around, this will be upright and this will be in reverse. So the pain will be over, the painful separation will be over, and the two of them will be together. That's what's happening right now in this current energy. And she feels it. She's aware of it. She sees it. What it is going to take is this. The King of Cups. And it's clarified by the Two of Pentacles, which is that soulmate card, that back and forth, that, cycle. And on the bottom, it says change. And on the bottom of this King of Cups card, it says control. So there is someone who has been controlling the expression of their emotions for fear of abandonment or rejection. And if you're quick to jump and say, oh, it's my person, I ask you to think about how you actually are with everyone in your life. And I want you to assess, do you actually express your emotions, or do you hold back your emotions for fear that someone will reject you or abandon you? Because this is not about the person you're focused on. The person you are focused on is holding up a mirror so that you can see what you may or may not still be doing in regards to relationship, to the expression of emotion within self. This is also having a control by focusing on one masculine energy that is emotionally unavailable. This gives you control over the outcome. Again, you might gasp and say, what do you mean? You know consciously that if you choose somebody who is incapable of expressing their love to you, that they cannot do it. You're a logical person. You cannot expect people to change their nature. And you are choosing someone whose nature is emotionally unavailable because they have the same wounds that you have. That's why they're mirroring back to you. And that's what you're supposed to learn, because once you heal that, then you can truly change. And the general idea is that if you shift and change, you can change your concept about yourself, your self-concept. That changes who you attract. So if your person isn't coming and you wonder why, it's because you changed your self-concept and you can no longer attract that person until they change their self-concept, which has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And if they're not in your circle, it's because of that disconnect. And no amount of you wishing to change yourself to attract that person is going to fix it. You have to actually make the life you want right now, whether the person's with you or not, and pray that they are at the same place where you are if they're meant to be with you. But even better, surrender. Surrender. If all you desire is spiritual fulfillment in partnership, and it's not just your ego being attached to one specific person, then anybody who comes in and fulfills those 10 of cups is going to make you feel bliss and joy. If it's your ego that's in control, then you will not allow yourself to feel bliss or joy. You will say that you cannot because you can't have what you want, even if what you want doesn't want you or isn't in a position to ever do so. And that's where your conflict lies. That's why this is on the fence. Because until you realize that about yourself and realize that you are making a decision that's putting you in separation from loving connection, you will have to continue on this journey of always longing for this one person. As soon as you realize that you are not bound to that is a decision or a choice, and it is not something that is not a choice within you, you can transform. Because you can, because there is some part of you that's afraid that you're not enough, just you. There's, I'm not complete. I need someone else to complete me. There's someone else that's another half of me. No, you're complete because you're divine and human, which is anthropos. That is what Christ taught. That is Christ consciousness. And that doesn't have anything to do with physical union with one single person. And that's not to say that you won't come into union with that person. That's to say it won't matter if you do. The work is that you are in union in self. And I will repeat that till I'm blue in the face. And I want to say, I have challenged other readers. I have challenged other people to give me the resources. 11:33 on the clock, 3 people in the room, and it was 12 minutes on the timer. I have challenged people to give me the resources to show me where they can point to this assertion about these things that people say about the twin flame journey, because as far as I can tell, it comes from a belief system that came from a cult in the 1970s. So I have yet to have anybody actually express to me that the end goal is physical union and show me that the proof of that. And, it doesn't mean that it's not true. It's just I can't testify to that because I don't have that experience so far. My experience is the person that I focused on helped me to become a best version of myself. And I keep becoming more and more refined. I keep wanting to be closer and closer and closer to my connection with the divine, to have more loving connection with other people, to enjoy everything that's given to me. More and more and more and more from loving the person I chose to love, even though that person doesn't express to me in a normal way. I still was refined by the fire, right? And I'm whole without the person. So that is what I have learned. And I'm not saying beyond a shadow of a doubt that other people who express these other things are not also speaking their truth, but it isn't my truth yet because I haven't experienced it or seen anyone or seen anything that would convince me that that is anything but an ego-based desire to have something in the physical, and not understanding that you can have everything you want in the physical as soon as you are right with your connection with the divine. Okay. I don't know, that's the best way I can say that. All right, let's go through the heart space now and clarify all this noise. We have the 3 of Wands here being clarified by the Tower, which I don't know if you've noticed has come up a lot in the collective recently. We're seeing it quite a bit. This is an energy of having to release things, the divine intervening, and this card of really having faith in that intervention. That your vision is going to be granted and that the divine will do anything it can to bring it to you as long as you accept it, right? And then look at what I said. This is about decisions. And then who shows up here? The 2 of Pentacles. Again, choice, and this energy of the yin yang, back and forth, masculine feminine energy, and change. So the divine feminine is understanding in the headspace that it is her choice how she experiences separation. She can choose to remain imbalanced and to give to someone who does not give back, or she can give to herself, experience loving connection with self and those around her who are in reciprocation of her energy. It's up to her. She's realizing this. It has nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with me. The other person will do what the other person will do. I'm the one that decides how I am treated. Her vision, it's being fulfilled by the King of Wands, a divine masculine who takes action. What is he doing? He's bringing about this 10 of Cups, the spiritual fulfillment in the divine timing, changing and ending this separation. So this is all about choices and decisions, making decisions to live the life that you want to live right now. If you're not doing that, your divine masculine won't. If you're not living the life that you want to live now without your divine masculine is not going to live the life he wants to live without. Do you see how that works? So if all you're doing right now is watching tarot readings and trying to figure out when your divine masculine is coming back, then all your divine masculine is doing is whatever he's doing that's self-indulgent and trying to figure out how he could come back. Because he's not doing what he wants to do in his life, and neither are you. So do what you want to do in your life. Whatever wishes you have, you need to fulfill them. The 9 of Cups, when it comes out in a reading, it's a sign of wish fulfillment. What was your wish? That the masculine is going to take energy. Who's the masculine? You are. So what is it that you want to do in your life? You need to go do it. You need to not even think about whether masculine is going to call you or not, and go do it. Give your feminine side the ability to fully express. Do not hold back. Do not selfishly guard this abundance anymore, but allow yourself to express yourself. This applies to me with my music. I need to go book shows. That's what I want to do next. I want to go perform the songs that I've been working on so that I can pay for the rest of the record. And I need to just do that. Just got to go book shows. That's my next step. After I settle in here, that's what's next. Then we have here this 2 of Cups, clarifying the 4 of Cups in reverse. And of course, we have the 10 of Swords, which we already saw over here. This was the vision. Now we're seeing in the current energy that divine feminine is experiencing separation. But remember, I told you she's mindful of it. She realizes what the benefit of it is, that it is really, truly helping her so that she will not miss an opportunity with a person that is attuned to her, that is in sync with her. And it is also the sense that the separation is ending. And clarifying this, it is the awakening or the judgment card. And stay tuned because we're having a lot of repeat cards today. And I realized for some reason I didn't do the top and bottom of the deck, which I will do after this. I guess I just went right into the main cards. But this final outcome, which is this King of Cups, being able to choose a kind, compassionate, loving, caring person who has emotional mastery and emotional availability and is emotionally available, rather than continuing to choose people who are not emotionally available. In order to progress to the next stage in the journey, the divine feminine must forgive herself for withholding her own feminine energy, for not expressing, for not being emotionally available, even though she thought she was, because she intellectualized her feelings, and she may have even allowed herself to feel her feelings, but she did not express them because she was afraid of rejection or abandonment. And when she did express them and received no communication, she stayed. She chose to stay and allow the masculine to control the situation. And for this, she has to forgive herself, because the only reason that you make a choice like that is because you feel that someone else's reality is more important than yours. Someone else's needs are more important than your needs. Sometimes in our lives, that's true. Sometimes somebody has an urgent need, and it maybe does trump our need. If a child is injured, if a friend is injured, if somebody around us needs medical assistance, like there are times when we do need to pick ourselves up and put ourselves to the side and help others. But we as feminines tend to do that constantly. And it is time to balance that out, to care for the self, to express our needs, and to expect that the people who we attract are absolutely going to be capable of fulfilling our needs and communicating to us when we need them to. That's where the feminine energy is. And it's awesome. Okay. Let's look at the divine masculine energy now. Oh, no. Let me do the top and bottom of the deck first for the masculine. For the feminine heart space. I don't know why I'm resistant to showing this. I don't want to. It's very exciting because we have a union in heaven heart. She has the Page of Swords. And we're about to see the divine masculine also has the Page of Swords, meaning that 4 decks spit it out. Yes, 3 out of my 4 decks rather spit it out. So, divine feminine, underlying all her thoughts and decisions is the masculine, right? Folks working up the courage, coming forward, communicating. But in her heart space, it's also her that's doing that. Working up her courage, communicating, expressing, saying what's on her mind, being willing to communicate to people who she knows are going to return her communications back and not just ghost her or not say anything at all. But it's like only communicating with people who she feels are worthy of that because they can express back to her. And it's also seeing and watching that masculine energy too and looking for communication. This is underlying all of her in her heart space. It's like her niggling feeling. And look, it's the same energy, which is incredible because all these cards are clarifying each other. It's just nuts. But we see here the feminine curious about what this masculine is going to say. What could that masculine energy possibly say to her at this point? First of all, that she doesn't already know on some level. And second of all, that would really kind of make up for what went on between them. All right, now let's look at the masculine. Headspace. Top of the deck, overall thing on his mind. Well, look, it's the Ace of Swords. And this is the sword that the page picks up to carry forward, to communicate a new self-concept. It's like the truth. It cuts through all the noise and the chatter, and it's clarity. It's seeing things very, very clearly right now. The masculine is awake, and that is being emphasized by the fact that the niggling thing underlying all his thoughts and decisions is the Judgment card, which is over here again. So we're seeing a lot of union. This masculine is fully awake. He knows what is up. He knows exactly what he needs to do, who he needs to do it to. The first thing on his mind is a little overthinking, but Divine Feminine had a lot of overthinking. Her heart space was pretty stable. The masculine, a little bit of overthinking, a little bit of overfeeling. The overthinking that we're seeing right now is in regards to the 4 of Swords, the no communication, the rest, but also faith, and the Strength card. So the Divine Feminine is thinking, wow. I mean, Divine Masculine is thinking, wow. The Divine Feminine has really kept her shit together during this time that I haven't said anything to her of any substance that would indicate anything that I'm really thinking. Because of what I'm really thinking is this. There is no one more attractive. There is no one more captivating. There is no one more magnetic. There is no one more confident. No one who shines more. No one who is more passionate. No one who is more visionary. No one. There is no one. There is no one that's Divine Feminine. And she has really kept it together while I have been sitting here making her wait for my communication being at rest. The songs that played today, there was another one before the Depeche Mode. Let me look and see what it was because I was like, oh my God, these lyrics are crazy. The Yeah Yeah Yeahs Subway. Those lyrics from the No Law demo. That shit was like waiting. It really tracked. All right, so the divine masculine, it's really, he's seeing clearly this feminine is not like any other feminine I've ever had. Any other feminine I have ever had, when I have approached her in this emotionally detached way, not communicated, not expressed, made her wait, made her whatever, she's been a freak of nature. She has flipped shit. She has acted possessive. She has acted jealous. She has acted like a raging beast, controlling, like the maternal energy I experienced or saw or learned from society, whatever that. But this feminine didn't, she's not, that's not, that's not what is happening. And that really allows me to feel unburdened by this feminine, because this feminine is able to meet her own needs, because she doesn't cling to me or grasp onto me or make me feel like I have to carry the weight of our future on my shoulders. I feel finally relieved. I feel like I could express myself, that I could say anything and she would listen. And even if she felt fiery or angry for a minute, it would pass quickly, it would burn quickly, and then we would communicate and we would heal together. I feel this is the feminine energy who would just let me be myself and wouldn't expect me to be anything else but who I am. And it's such a relief. I can just unburden myself in this energy. It feels so good. Clarifying this faith, this quiet, this no communication, this rest, and this strength is this Hierophant card. This is the lesson. You cannot make a vow if you are faithless. You cannot keep a commitment if you can't hold back your fiery passion. And there has been a death of the ego and a spiritual rebirth. And what's happening now for the masculine is this fresh spark, this Page of Wands energy towards this feminine, this chemistry, this desire for her, because he can tell who she is. He can see clearly with that Ace of Swords energy who the fuck she is. And now he's going to do anything he can to fight to have her. Even if she has her guard up with him, he doesn't care. He's relieved because he understands that this is a healthy guard that she has up, a healthy boundary. He has this understanding that it is something that he will be able to break through, because he comes from his heart space. He comes from a place of love. He comes from a place of understanding and compassion. And he knows that there is no wall that the feminine has put up that he cannot break through. His heart is ready and willing and able to carry the sword, because divine feminine herself has been so brave. And she also knows that he is this way too. They have all learned. Sit for a moment with the synchronicity and try not to become emotional. You know, not being able to do my readings regularly for a few days and being out of whack and makes you feel even a little disconnected in a way. And to come back and just have so much union, it shows me that not focusing so intently on this energy, has given it that space that was needed for the divine masculine to feel unburdened enough to take action. Underlying all the thoughts and decisions the masculine has was that awakening energy and the moon, which is this illumination, this unveiling of secrets that have been hidden. It's awakening to the divine feminine within, to trusting the self, to trusting the intuition, awakening to your dreams for the future. If you're listening to this and the only thing you're hearing right now is the relationship you have with your person, listen again and think about the relationship you have with yourself or with the creative endeavor you have in your life. If you can listen to the readings from that perspective and take your focus off of your person, you will come into union so much faster. And it may not be with that person right now because it's not meant to be, or it may be. I don't know. But if you don't care because your life is so amazing, because you do pursue the things that you dream about and you put your whole self into your passions, I don't think it's going to matter as much. At least it doesn't to me. Like, I feel so good right now. I have been able to pursue my dreams to a level that I've never been able to do before. And it's coming from a place of consistently honoring my authentic self and showing up when I'm called to. The divine masculine energy is doing that right now with the Page of Swords. So allow that to happen. And if you're not looking at that water boiling, it's going to boil. And if you're getting your vegetables ready to put into it to make your stew, then you're going to have something to cook. But if the water's boiling and you're staring at it, it's going to seem like it's going to take forever. And then when it is ready, you're not going to be. You're going to be like, oh shit, I got to get all the vegetables ready. I don't even have them cut up yet. Wait a minute. Can you wait for me? Can you wait for me now, please? I have to turn down the heat so that it doesn't boil over while I prepare myself. That is exactly what you're doing when you're pushing against that timeline. And I'm not talking about the timeline that people are telling you on stories or on Instagram stories or TikTok videos or YouTube videos. I want you to reject those timelines because you are on your own timeline, and these are general collective readings. And general collective energy suggests optimal times for things to happen. But babies are born in the winter. So you just go along your own path and just reject timeline information. Don't even ask for it. That is divination. To me, when you ask for timeline information or you want to know timeline information, is because you don't trust that you're going to have a good time all the way there, right? When you're on a roller coaster, you don't just enjoy when you're going down. You enjoy the anticipation of getting to the top because you know that once you get to the top, that's when you're going to have the payoff. So enjoy the progress to where you're going to go. If you're not enjoying it, you're not doing it right, and you're not going to get what you're asking for the way that you want it. It's going to come in a way that is not going to be fully cooked. Trust me. All right, let's continue. Divine Masculine, clarifying this Four of Swords and the Strength card, which is this faith and this the strength that's happening during this time of no communication, that he is seeing this feminine energy in this light. We are seeing this Eight of Cups. He's looking at her and he's saying, she didn't leave me. She's not fully left me. She's not ever walked away from me. She has somehow, divine feminine has gone towards her higher calling and still not left me behind. And I will return to her in the same way that she has always returned to me in her heart. I also have never left her, so I know that she's never left me. And don't get this confused with not being able to let go, because that's not what that means. Not being able to let go means you aren't happy without your person. Being able to let go means you are happy without your person. Doesn't mean you don't love them or that you wouldn't return or allow them to return. 11:55 on the clock. 55 fives are temporary obstacles. And separation offers you a bunch of challenges so that you can level up as a character in your game that you're playing of life. And you asked for, you were like, hey, I want to be a high level mage or whatever you wanted to be. And the universe is like, okay, well, it's going to be challenging. And you're like, that's all right. I like a challenge. And the universe is like, are you sure? And you were like, yeah. The universe is like, okay, we got another one. You asked for something that's not, you didn't say, like, hey, can I have a relatively satisfying relationship where we have, some commonalities. We like some of the same things. We generally get along well. We have a decent sex life. There's like a modest amount of growth in our relationship. Our kids are like pretty average. We have like an average trajectory in our life. And like, we're just like pretty like run of the mill and just sort of like, we don't even have to like each other that much, really, just as long as we kind of get along until we die. I'm sorry, was that what you asked for? Because you can have that. That's so easy. Go. There's so many people wanting that. There's so many people. You don't believe me because you've always wanted more than that. But there's so many people that are like, dude, I just like being here. I just want to watch Netflix sometimes and like eat movie theater popcorn every couple of months and like maybe go out to McDonald's. Like I'm chill with that. I don't want more. I'm not asking for more. I'm not at a place where that's where I'm at. So I want that. You didn't want that. If you wanted that, you'd be happy with it. It's out there everywhere. Just mediocre shit is all over the place. It's average is the most common. That's why it's average. So you can have that. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not even shameful. It's literally it's just experiencing. It's just one way to experience things. It sounds nice to me sometimes. I'm like, dude, that sounds pretty sweet. Like it's just average. It's just like average instead of like extremely unhappy because I'm not like at the very top of the world conquering everything. You're just fine with it. Like that sounds fucking great. But you didn't ask for that, did you? You were like, oh, please, I want to be able to do this thing I'm really passionate about so much. And I just always have wanted to do that. And I really want to do it. And also, I want to be with a person who supports me in that and who communicates openly and doesn't emotionally abuse me and, remembers things and shows up and then you're thinking about it and are you doing any of that shit yourself when you're first asking for this stuff? Because I fucking wasn't. Like when I'm like, I want a person that's like the best ever possible. And then I'm just being an asshole to myself. I don't take care of myself. I'm not mindful of like my behaviors or like what how can I expect someone else to be that way? That doesn't make any sense. I want somebody who thinks I'm beautiful and attractive, but I don't think I am. So I don't know how they're gonna be able to see me that way. But make it so. Anyway, let's clarify the Queen of Wands. She's being clarified by the Queen of Swords. So this is interesting because we have two queens. And we have the Divine Feminine, I associate most with this Queen of Wands energy. And then we have the intellect. So this is like the fiery, passionate heart space. And this is the intellect, the mind. This is upright. So it's understanding and has a lot of clarity. So the masculine energy is feeling like the divine feminine in this regard is very smart, intelligent. She's balanced. She's not just fiery, but she can see far into the future and strategize and come up with a plan for the vision that she has. And he is interested in this. There is also the potential here that there were two queens, the divine feminine, and then perhaps someone from his past. This can be a maternal energy, somebody that was a little harsher, colder, not as warm, not as friendly. And the reason why it's saying my connection is unstable. All right, hopefully my connection is back, and I hope that doesn't happen too much more. So now we have three queens. The Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And this is coming out with the Three of Cups. And there's a burden here that the divine masculine is putting down. And part of me wants to be like, oh, this is about third-party energy and multiple partners. But I actually don't think that at all. I think we're seeing the different aspects of the divine feminine. The head, the heart, and this is the material. And what we're seeing is divine masculine putting down this burden of his fear of rejecting the feminine when he comes in to reunite and celebrate with her. He's not feeling like he has to carry her financially. I think he did have a partner in his past who he had to financially carry. And what he is seeing in the divine feminine is that she has the vision, the determination, the willpower, and the intellect to provide for herself. So this burden that the masculine was afraid of, he doesn't have that feeling, that fear. And it's not that he doesn't want to provide. Hello. It's not that he doesn't want to provide for the divine feminine. It's not like that at all. He does. There is a desire here to provide a lot of abundance and prosperity for the feminine energy. But he is not feeling that it is his duty or obligation to do so, but more that it will be his privilege and his honor. He is not feeling like the feminine is trying to hold over his coin or try to be grasping, or like he may have experienced from feminine energy in the past. He sees her as the whole package. Why has he learned a spiritual lesson and is now in the space of desiring this commitment to the feminine, this period of no communication, where he has had to have faith in the feminine energy? Why has that happened? That he became strong, that he realized divine feminine strength? Well, because of the Tower card, which we were seeing a lot the last few days. We know the divine intervened in some way and gave this divine masculine a sort of coming to Jesus moment where he realized that he doesn't have to feel burdened by the feminine. Now what he has is, after this Tower energy, which is clarifying, what was it clarifying? Oh, I think I put it, okay, the Hierophant card. So this can also be about the mask. Oh my God, I keep throwing the cards on the ground, son of a bitch. This can also be about the masculine releasing a partner, a former commitment, because we're seeing that queen. Remember, this is a collective reading, so there's a few different storylines going on. We're seeing the multiple queens, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse with the Three of Cups. So and putting down a burden. So there's somebody that could have recently released or been in the process or wanted to release a past commitment, a past marriage, etc. But it's also, to me, releasing fear of commitment, because he's realizing the divine feminine is so stable and such a reliable energy, and really wanting to make this decision. Remember, he has clarity, so I don't feel that he is confused. I think he sees clearly that this divine feminine has a lot of options, and that if he continues to communicate in these immature ways and doesn't actually come forward with much more intention and directness, that the divine feminine is sort of free to choose others. And that is causing him to be anxious and try to come in and cut through all those other options and show her that he's the best choice. Now, what's really interesting is we have the Seven of Wands from this deck, and it's being clarified by this Six of Wands in reverse. So we have a 6 and 7 progression, and we're seeing that the success has been achieved, and divine masculine is still afraid here of something about public acknowledgement, but he's ready and prepared to fight off any negative feeling or any negative words or actions that may stem from revealing the success that he has truly achieved by desiring to come into union with this divine feminine. So we're seeing him, because we have that Page of Swords energy, brave enough to fight for this connection, even if some aspect of it may not bode well for his reputation in some way. Okay, that's a lot. Now let's go and take a look at, and I realized I did not do the Thoth Tarot today, and we're just going to not worry about it because it is buried underneath things. But I want to do oracles for the ritual work you might want to do this week, the mindset that will help you, the guardian that will guide you, and the archetype that will guide you. So let's take a look first at Divine Feminine. What ritual work will benefit you this week? Travel in reverse. Very interesting. So this is an energy of, well, not running. I'm also like, girl, I am not traveling until my son's birthday on the 5th. I will travel that weekend. My ass is staying home. I will travel to the grocery store today, and that is the most traveling. And it's literally 2 minutes away from my house because I live in a very small town now. So Divine Feminine, you're being called to maybe do some work about, this is like got a 6 of Swords energy for me. So being uncertain about where you're going can make you feel afraid to leave like the turbulent waters for calmer shores, or for calmer waters. So if you have a clear image of where you want to go, you have less fear of traveling there. So rather than running away from something, like a feeling that you're having this week, you can practice exploring what it would look like if you wrote down the opposite scenario that would help you alleviate the feeling. For instance, if you feel like you don't want to wait for somebody to make up their mind, then I want you to write down what it would feel like not to wait. Just, you don't have to do that. You can still wait. But I want you to just write down what it would feel like to not wait for the person and to still get what you want. And I want you to write down what that is. And I want you to keep refining it. And I want you to stay in your feelings and feel them. And I want you to express them. That's one thing that's definitely needing to happen for the feminine. You might want to do work with Saint Christopher, who is a saint that oversees traveling. And you might want to work with Pegasus or something that is like that. That to me is coming up. That's making me feel of traveling, or horse energies, the animal spirit, something like that. And for the masculine, what ritual work? Psychic abilities. So this definitely, it's about meditation and centering the self. It could be about enhancing your psychic abilities, working with certain crystals or substances that may enhance your ability to see, receive messages. This is about being very in tune with your connection, the telepathic connection you have. It was in reverse. And so there may be a suggestion here that you rely quite a lot on this psychic connection with feminine energy rather than communicating. And so it might be time to pull back the telepathic communication and actually travel toward the feminine and communicate directly to her. And she will not be running from you, but she will be staying in that place of receptivity. Because remember, running is when you're imagining something won't happen as well. When you are sort of pushing back against something that you desire, you're running away from it, not towards it. And all you have to do is take one step toward it, and the universe will take 10 steps towards you. At the bottom of the deck, we have empowerment. So both of you should work on spell work that increases your feeling of empowerment. You can keep an Empress card somewhere on your desk to remind you of the divine feminine power in gestation and growing something and taking care of the self. You can take back your power by removing your mask. I always see this as a mask on her face, even though it's not, it's just the light. It's focused on the mouth. And so expressing gives you a lot of power. You can take your power back by expressing. So that's the advice for ritual work. Let's see what mindset will help you. What mindset will help the feminine energy? Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. So when your ego is clinging to one person, place, or thing, you are really kind of stuck in a fear-based state. And when you can see beyond those limits that those fears are making you cling, you can see that the universe has wanting to give you what you've asked for, and you can see how it's going to be for the highest good of all. So just trust that process and push back against the fear that you have, that you can't have the thing that you want. For the masculine mindset, I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. So that for me, and looking, I just looked down at the Eight of Cups in reverse, just really masculine, just I just turned from 12:11 to 12:12, and it was 50-50 on the timer when I looked at it. So very important message. Make sure that you always trust the direction of the universe and know you are being guided. Don't doubt it. Like even the times when you haven't approached the feminine, even the times that are that you would have interpreted as missed opportunities, the times that there are readers on TikTok who are yelling at the masculine collective about, which makes me frustrated. Masculine, if you did not go forward when the timing, quote unquote, when the readers were yelling at you to do that, you trusted your intuition. You did not come forward before you were ready. You trusted something. You were on the path of the divine. Even not making a decision is a decision, and it is divinely guided. Because if you are not able to fully follow through, then you are not able to provide for the divine feminine emotionally, which is much more important than materially. So you trust that even the choices you have made to not come forward were divinely guided, and you have done nothing wrong. That's very important for the masculine. I saw 3 of those yesterday. What was it? I'm not sure exactly what it was that you saw 3 of yesterday. Let me know, because I'm deep in channeling here. I don't know exactly what I was saying. For the 2 of you, the bottom of the deck is, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. This is another reminder that this journey is about the love of the universe, not the love of another person. And for anyone who is out there telling you that it is about the love for another person and about that physical person coming together, that physical person, and that you have to do that in order to ascend the planet, you are already causing ascension to happen. Oh, a dragonfly. Yes. That's dragonfly spirit is like bringing in revelation also. You are already helping the planet to ascend by being on this journey. Coming into physical union is great. It is helpful. It is part of mission, but it is not your end all be all. You may not do that in this lifetime. It may not be for this lifetime. It could be for the next one. You do not know that. So do not feel like you are failing if you're not in physical union. You are already learning this lesson. Just accept that this person has taught you that the love of the universe is your primary teacher, and it's always guiding you back to the light. And that is what you are learning from your person. So that's the mindset that will help you. Let's get a guardian for you. Divine Feminine. Which guardian or guardians are coming in for you today? Wow, steady progress. Saint Teresa of Lisieux. Just as I said, you are already ascending the planet. You are already assisting with the whatever grand rising or however they're calling it. That's already happening. Just trust in that process. Saint Teresa, the little flower, she was a very blessed and holy and interesting saint. I highly encourage you to research her. She definitely had visions. She definitely experienced like Kundalini experiences. There was levitation and miracles surrounding her. And she was devoted to the divine from a young age. She wanted to marry Christ at the age of, I think, 8 or 9. She begged and begged and begged to be allowed to become a nun. She's a very interesting saint and persistent. And so she's here with you to help you through the steady progress that you are making. Don't doubt that you are making progress. Divine Masculine, your guardian angel is here to support you in holding your vision. If this is something you fear you can't do on your own, you don't have to. You have angels with you, holding your vision. Your divine feminine herself is an angelic being that holds this vision with you. So that is absolutely supporting you this week. And at the bottom of the deck for the both of you, Saint Mother Teresa, who is one of the most blessed saints of my lifetime, who was willing to minister to the most those that were cast out of society. She was not afraid to go and become an activist on their behalf. And so you have this power, this dedication, this healing energy, this support coming from Mother Teresa, both of the twins. And finally, the archetype that will help you. Divine Feminine, what archetype will help you this week? The student, humility and devotion to knowledge and an openness to lifelong learning. So continue to learn. Just continue to learn these lessons. You had student energy all over. This is literally your heart. Learning is fun. I don't know. I've always loved learning things. I always love learning new information. I think most of the people that are in this collective are very curious. They want to know more. They want to learn more. That's why you're here. You're not watching hour-long readings on esoteric religious topics because you're not a curious person who's interested in things that are off the beaten path. You enjoy learning. And when you do really embrace that you enjoy learning, you enjoy the steps of playing different games, however it is, just enjoy that childlike energy and just soak up all this knowledge, because you're going to be passing it on to others. And you're going to continue to grow for your whole life. So learn these tricks now and have an amazing life, because you know how to balance your energy and go after what you desire. Divine Masculine, your archetype that will help you this week is the priest archetype. Facilitates spiritual commitments and serves as a channel of spiritual energy. And that is so in alignment with your faith, the Four of Swords and the Hierophant in your reading, which is totally about spiritual commitment. And of course, the priestly energy, the priestly class, going off and isolating yourself and devoting yourself to the divine so that you can teach others and communicate these messages from spirit to others to help them live these fulfilling lives, so that the people that are content with average things, you can give them the advice that they would not get on their own, because they would not do this journey that you are willing to do. So you are able now, from your position of having gone off and hermited and gone on a soul journey and found out all these truths, now you can communicate these spiritual truths to others and offer them healing, so that they will have much more peaceful and fulfilling lives than they would have otherwise had. So that is the archetype that will serve you this week. And the bottom of the deck for the both of you is Poet, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. So this can be about you communicating to one another in a creative way. If you're not in direct communication with your person and you just want to do something to express your feelings or your love for them, this is a time when you will be able to fully convey yourself in symbolic language. Be open to receiving the messages that come from the divine and find a channel or an outlet of expression for them. And I strongly encourage, if you are in a place where you can communicate in a healthy way, then you are being told that if you try to do that, you will be given this gift of being able to express yourself in language. So you'll be able to write powerful messages or communicate powerfully through whatever art form that you engage in. So, wow, that is the divine reading. I'm going to just finish out my announcements because they were in the other video, but that I had to end it because it wasn't connecting. I don't know what's going on. I hope that this turned out okay. I don't know if my connection upstairs is kind of wonky and I might need to do something about that. But again, thank you to everybody who's here right now, everybody who supported me on my journey. As a special treat, it is 12:21 on the clock, which is a mirror number, and I just saw 59:55. As a special treat for everyone for this week, I'm going to do an old school week. So Wednesday is going to be a full length obstacles removed for everybody here on YouTube. Friday is going to be a full length release and rebuild spread. Thursday is going to be a full length tell me everything spread for the collective here on YouTube. I will be doing an additional tell me everything spread for the collective. I'm sorry, for members, yes, for the collective, but for members only. So you will get 2 Tell Me Everything spreads this week, members. And I will be doing some special treats for members the next week as well. I will continue doing obstacles removed and release and rebuild for members as a thank you to everyone who donated to me across on my cross country trip. And the other thing I wanted to mention, which I mentioned in the other video, this pendant that I'm wearing was a gift from Sarah, who is the Crafty Country Witch on TikTok. She has bare naturals, candles, and more. And she sent me this beautiful gift package with this lovely warm message, and I really appreciated it. It was for my Mother's Day gift that I gave to my mom, and it just smells so good. Like one of the candles is burning right now in my room. So I wanted to say thank you to her, 12:22 on the clock. And if you use Pearl, you get 11% off of any orders over $11 in her store. So you can find her, the Crafty Country Witch, on TikTok and click the link in her profile. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I shall see you on Wednesday. I am taking tomorrow off completely. No driving, no burial services, no nothing, just taking it off completely. And I will be back on Wednesday with obstacles removed. I will be doing a live reading later tonight on TikTok for people who want to ask questions and get personal readings. And I will be continuing to do that throughout the week. So you can catch me on TikTok for personal readings for $11, $22, and $33. Or you can book at the link in my profile if you want to get a private reading today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm so happy to be back. And we're going to decorate the wall a bit. It's going to get a little more interesting back here. But this is where I am in my childhood bedroom. It's really trippy. I'm wearing clothes I would have worn in the 80s. It's really weird, but I'm just rolling with it. So I will see you all on Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Bye.